now, they might even clap after you are done, but an hour later, they've forgotten everything you said. If you've ever poured out your heart into a presentation before, a pitch, or even a meeting, and at the end of the day, no one remembers a single thing you said, you know the frustration I'm talking about. But here is the truth. Most professionals speak to inform, smart speakers speak to transform. And transformation is what sticks. Transformation is sticky. Today, I'm going to show you how to make your words sticky so that they can stay in the minds, mouths, and decisions of your listeners long after you've left the room. You're welcome to today's live. You're welcome to the Smart Speaking Short Break series today. I am Leslie Grace, the confidence coach, the one who is sent to busy professionals like you to master 3 elite skills: smart reading, smart thinking, and of course, smart speaking. I'm excited and delighted to have you join this conversation today. I hope that you would invite others to come join this conversation. Hit the subscribe button if you've not, and share this live with someone who has been struggling with speaking. Now, for most professionals, I have seen that the struggle is that they want to speak to be remembered. They want to speak. Today, I want to give you the formula that works. Today, I want to give you the formula that works. Now, before we go into the sticky formula, that's what I call the formula that works. I'll be giving you that with the acronym STICKY, right? Before we go into that sticky formula, let's confront the problem head on. You see, the problem is that it's not that your information is not good enough to stick. It's that we live in a reality that you need to put into consideration each time you want to speak before any audience. Whether you're speaking you want to give a business speech, you are presenting before your boss, we live in a highly distracted age. The average professional today checks their phones every 5 to 7 minutes. The age we are in today is highly distracted. The attention span is shrinking, and the flood of information means that whatever you say is competing with hundreds of other voices that they can hear. The voices they can hear from the internet, beep from their email, the buzz from Instagram and Facebook, or name it, TikTok. They are highly distracted. So the last thing they want to do is actually listen to something that is not going to stick. They are already battling attention span. What you don't want to bore them with is an information that wouldn't worth their time spent listening to you. Now, if your words aren't designed in such a way that it can stick, they slide away like water off glass. This is why most professionals end up being impressive but forgettable. Now, for the smart speaker, you do not just only want to speak and be forgettable, you want to speak and be both informative, transformative, impressive, and unforgettable. That is your goal. So that is why for every speech, you need to use the sticky formula, which is what I'll be sharing with you today. And if speaking is your struggle as a professional, you want to click on the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, because throughout August, we'll be having the Smart Speaking Short Break series, and we go live every day, Mondays to Saturdays, Mondays to Fridays, 1 p.m., Saturdays at 7 p.m., and we share with you real stuff, help, tips that can help you to become that speaker that is sticky, that is impressive, that is transformative, the one that they keep coming back all the time to listen to. So hit the subscribe button, and you also want to join the Smart Speaking course, which will be a 30-day journey in September, where I'll be holding you by the hand to unlock confidence, communication, and power to command any room. So you want to join that class, just put in the comment section SMART, and we'll get access to that class. Now, let me give you the sticky formula real quick. Have you hit the subscribe button? Thank you. Now, do something extra. Share this link with someone, that professional, that colleague, that sibling of yours that you know that is struggling with speaking. Anytime you call them to speak before their boss or before an unfamiliar presence, they just tell you know what, I cannot do it. Share this live with them. They should be in this conversation. Let's go. Sticky. The sticky formula is that formula that works for every professional anytime you speak. Now, let's go with S. S stands for start with a story. Start with a story. Now, when I began this conversation, I painted a story for you. I began by saying that when you speak, heads are nodding, people are smiling, hands are clapping, yet they cannot remember what you said an hour later. Now, that was me starting with a story. That was me painting a scenario. Now, if you want your speech to stick, use the sticky formula. The sticky formula is an acronym I have created so that what I'm saying will stick with you. And of course, you can always apply it. So S stands for start with a story. Stories sell. Stories also buy. What do stories buy? Stories buy the attention of your audience long term. They get glued to you. They get stuck with you. They listen to you again and again because stories always stick. Your brain is wired to remember narratives, not naked data. Your brain is wired to remember narratives, not naked data. So clothe your data, clothe your information with stories. Stories will always work. So you want to clothe your information. You have a lot of information you want to give out there. You want people to listen to you. What you want to do is really simple. Just clothe it with some stories. Let your stories be relatable. Let your stories be conversational. Let them know. Instead of starting with a pitch that begins with statistics, let it open with a vivid customer experience, for instance, that makes the problem real. So let's say you want to advertise a new storybook on Bible stories for children. You want to begin by saying, instead of, you want to begin with a customer story. You want to say something like, so Mrs. Sarah reached out to me, and Mrs. Sarah says, throughout this holiday, all my children have done is stay glued on the screen. I have tried everything. I have bought several books, but they are not interested. They love stories, but it seems like the one I've been showing them is boring. So I've been looking for a way to help my children. And then I gave to Mrs. Sarah, I gave her the new collection of storybooks that are, hello, good afternoon, everybody, I see in the comment section, that are for children. And Mrs. Sarah tried our new storybooks for Bible stories for children, for toddlers, and guess what? Mrs. Sarah has been giving us impressive feedback. Here's what she said. Let me read her chat. Mrs. Sarah says, ever since my children started reading these Bible storybooks for toddlers, screen time has reduced at home, plus they can now narrate Bible stories better, and their focus span has increased. Did you see how that went? Now, by the time I start selling the product, which is the Bible story, thank you, Zach. Now, by the way I began with this story, you can see that literally you can relate to it, and even if you're not considering buying that book, you definitely would buy it. So the next time you want to do a pitch, do not just start with statistics, saying things like, so as opposed to beginning with, statistics show that 9 out of 10 children over the long vacation will be stuck on screens instead of reading. Or statistics show that toddlers no longer read Bible. Christian toddlers no longer read their Bibles. This is good. You're giving us statistics and facts. However, what will make your message sticky is to start with a story. Have you hit the subscribe button? I know that by now you're getting good information from this channel. So you should hit the subscribe button because we go live Mondays to Saturdays, Mondays to Fridays at 1 p.m., Saturdays at 7 p.m. to share with you Smart Speaking Short Break Series, how you as a professional can speak better to unlock confidence, communication, and of course, power to command any room. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button and for sharing this link with everybody who should be here. So I've been giving you the sticky formula for becoming that impressive, transformative, unforgettable speaker. So always start with a story. Please do not start with facts. Start with stories. You have facts, you can infuse them much later, but as your opener, begin with a story, a scenario, paint a picture like I began this live today. Now, T, tie it to their world. Tie it to their world. If they can't see themselves in your words, they won't keep them. So what this means is, back again to the story I painted to begin that pitch to sell storybooks for toddlers, I used a you language, if you realized. Now I said something like, Mrs. Sarah got these books and she realized, and this here is what she said to me. Now, I cannot tie it down to say, you as a parent, stop the struggle with your kids over screen time. Or if you want to take away the screen from your children, then replace it with something more transformative. And this toddler books are. So I'm tying it back to them. The reason I even painted a story using a mom is because my audience is probably filled with parents, people who have toddlers. And one of the greatest struggles parents of toddlers have is taking them away from the screens. especially if they've been initially initiated or exposed to screens already. Hi, Teresa. Hi, everybody. I can see you. Hit the subscribe button, please. We go live Saturdays. You will love it being here. Thank you. Share this live with someone who's struggling with speaking in public, because I am that confidence coach that sent to busy professionals to help them master 3 life skills: smart speaking, smart reading, smart thinking. Thank you. All right. So when you are given a speech, start with a story that is S. Remember, I'm giving you the acronym sticky. Start with T. Tie to their world. Bring your story real. Let your story be tied to them. Relatable examples in their own vocabulary, with their own real life story. Paint your story in such a way that they can see themselves in your story. They can see themselves in your words. If they can see themselves in your words, then they can keep it. Your words will stick in their memory forever. They would hardly forget your story. This is how you become an unforgettable speaker. You become that person that they always remember. For instance, every time I speak, I say things like, I'm the one that's called to that professional who is struggling with speaking. So like you can see yourself. You can see yourself as the 3 life skills. You can literally see yourself. You can relate to the fact that, oh, I'm struggling with smart reading. I'm struggling with smart thinking. I'm struggling with smart speaking. Because if you can see yourself in what I'm saying, then you definitely will be here. If you saw the invitation for this live, you definitely would have seen something like this line: when you speak, but nothing sticks. That's the title for this live. So already you are seeing yourself. The words I use the you language. And because I'm using the you language, you can find yourself in my analogy. You can find yourself in my story. So I began by saying, when you speak, but nothing sticks. They nod, now they might even clap, but an hour later, they've forgotten everything you said. If you've ever poured your heart into a presentation, a pitch, or even a meeting contribution, only to realize no one remembers a single thing, you know the frustration. This is how I began this live today. And I'm sure that you can actually see yourself. You can see that I tied my words to your world. So because you can see yourself in these words of mine, what's happening is that it's relatable for you. I'm using your own vocabulary, so I'm unforgettable. You are stuck. Remember that I'm giving you the acronym for being an unforgettable speaker, which is using the acronym STICKY. And I said, S, start with a story, because stories buy attention. Stories also sell. Stories sell interest, okay? So people get interested to what you're saying over facts. And then T, tie it to their world. That thing you want to say, tie to the world of your audience. And I was giving you an example of how I was able to tie what I'm saying today, this topic today, to your world, and that's what's keeping you here on this live till now. Now let's go to I. Have you hit the subscribe button? I'm sure I'm giving you value, right? For your time. Hit the subscribe button. Share this live with someone. Thank you. I illustrate with images. Whether your images are visual or verbal, paint a picture. Let your audience be able to see in their minds what you're talking about clearly